throughout this country is going to be declaring war, and they're going to be storming through this country with ease. They are really no match for them. They already captured the capital, and they surrender. And it's obvious in this peace treaty, they're going to be fully annexed. But now there are some tensions rising with Turkey and Bulgaria on who should own Greece, and these people both of the kings are kind of dumb because Bulgaria agreed that they would get the Panhandle, and they agreed that Turkey would get the rest of Greece. But Turkey also wanted the Panhandle, but they never got it, which was never in the agreements, and they never stated that they wanted it. So they're going to be declaring. So Turkey is going to be declaring war on Bulgaria, and this invasion, well, is going to go pretty bad for the Turkish. They have already lost 1 million soldiers just in the first couple of months. They do make a landing right here, but it's not as successful. They send naval troops up here and they start invading. They asked for the Ukrainians to join. They refused. But the Albanians are going to be sending supplies to Bulgaria, and Bulgaria is finally going to show some resistance as they push them back. And, well, they're just going to do this. As I said again, Turkey is already lost basically half of their soldiers in just the first month of the war. So over here, they're kicked out. Same with over here. They make their own landing over here. This landing is gonna be pretty harsh. They kind of struggle, but they do capture the capital. They move a little over here as well as over here. Albania decides to join the war to try to get some land out of Turkey. What is that? So the Albanians are going to join the war, and they're going to be sending naval troops from out of here, and they're going to make a landing over here. This landing goes a little bit better than Bulgarians, and this one expands a lot faster. It's now been 1 year after the war started, and the country's been cut into tons of major cities were captured when the Albanians arrived, and it does not look good for them. The Albanians are not going to stop. Same with the Bulgarians. They're not going to stop until they finally take the whole country, unless they decide to surrender, and that's what's going to be happening. Turkey surrenders to the Albanians and the Bulgarians. So in this peace treaty, we can see that a lot of the coastline that connects them to the Mediterranean Sea is now gone. A lot of their value land is gone. A new Greek country forms, not, but it's under the control of the Albanians. The Bulgarians get a little piece of land. They don't want a lot. Turkey is now being controlled by the Bulgarians, as their government is basically just a puppet. Albanians get the southern piece of land. The Greeks get this piece of land. And so, yeah. But now we're going to be taking a look at France. So, I didn't mention it, but France did lose the Civil War, and they left the Square Alliance, and they are now a democracy and no longer a monarchist. Now, this is going to be the start of World War One, because the French are going to be declaring war on Rome to try to reduce the expansion of the Square Alliance into Western and Eastern Europe. So the French are going to be basically just doing the same thing they did in the Revolution, and they're going to be going down, trying to aim for the capital, and they make some good progress over here. The Iberians do make a push into the border and are getting really close to the capital. They meet up with the capital, and the battle of the capital starts. They go up here, and the French are not looking. They're looking good, but also bad, because over here they're invading pretty good, but over here there's just no resistance. The blue country's gonna decide to join the war on the side of the Square Alliance, because that's basically what the Square Alliance is about: defense and aggressiveness. They're gonna be moving in quite a lot. A new country's gonna join, and this is gonna be Britain. Britain is gonna join on the side of the French, as they're the same ideology, and they were actually planning to do an alliance, but now Ireland is going to join, and they're going to be supplying the Iberians in the war as well as the Romans. The Albanians are going to be sending supplies to the Romans as well as the Bulgarians. Over here, Turkey can't do anything, as they're under control of the Bulgarians, as well as over here, these countries are way too far away. India is doing their own thing, and, well, yeah, it's not looking good for the French. The capital is captured, but then we finally see some resistance from the French down south over here as they push in, and their goal is the same with the Romans trying to get to the capital, but it doesn't go good, as we see a major spearhead form going up into Paris. Yes, Paris is the thing, is right there. It's not their capital though, isn't their biggest city. But it probably will become their new capital, because they burned down their older capital. Over here, we see troops leaving Rome, which gives Rome a chance to invade them back, which does go well, as they're getting help from the Central European country. Yeah, it does not look good until finally we see the UK, make a landing over here in Iberia, but it's not successful, as they're kicked out, and the Iberians are trying to send troops over here, as well as Ireland. And we finally see the landing. We finally see the landing of the Iberians in the UK, as they're going to go through these tight passages and finally go into the mainland. So yeah, it does not look good for the French and the British. The Ukrainians are actually going to be standing with the Bulgarians and not with the Greeks like they did in the First War, and they're going to be sending troops over here through Central Europe, and they're actually planning to join the Square Alliance, as they have great influence from Western Europe. Yeah, this is not a good war for the French. But we do see something going on over here as we see this red country thinking that they're really powerful and starting to invade into Persia, which is kind of a dumb idea as Persia is at least 2 times stronger than this country. Persia is immediately going to start storming through, and we finally see World War One spreading into the Middle East. Yeah, this is not good for the French and the red country. Turkey is going to try sending troops, but due to them being under the control of the Bulgarians, they're not able to. But they were able to successfully avoid Cyprus. They were also able to avoid here and somehow get past here, as the Romans mistaken it, and they're being sent troops over here in the front line. And we saw a naval battle with Turkish naval troops, but they were eventually killed off, and Turkey just lost quite a bit of their naval troops. This is not good. More push into the French by the Romans. The Romans are also trying to get into the second biggest city, Paris. We see more going over here, trying to get the other main cities up north. We do eventually see the Romans and the Iberians connecting, and we're going to see the French surrendering. So, yeah, this is not going to be the end of the war, though. Just a little peace treaty for now. Okay, so let's take a look at this peace treaty. Okay. In the next episode, you guys are going to be seeing Peace Treaty with Rome. I got a new episode. Goodbye.